Say hello. Why do you do that? You're all jokes and laughs until the camera turns on, and then you turn into Miss Serious. Oh, brother. Alrighty, we got the floor all welded up. Transmission tunnel done. Still got to build a little thing for here, but I think I'm going to make that removable. So if I ever have to pull the brake pedal or the steering column out, I can do that. And I ran out of wire in my welder, so kind of done welding for now till I get uptown. There's one spot here that I didn't weld in because that's where the emergency brake handle comes through. I'm still trying to decide if I want to put that emergency brake back in or what I want to do for emergency brake. Haven't made up my mind on that, so I just kind of blocked it off a little bit. I'll paint it, put some noise dampener stuff over it, and then I can figure that out down the road. So I just set the seat in here to see how the floor turned out. Looks good. I'm happy with it, so I'm going to slap a coat of paint on this and on the bottom side of it and get going on something else. Alright, here's a little update for you. Got the floor all painted underneath and on top, and then started putting in, well, I put this in first before I painted that. Ran to the store and got some more welding wire because I ran out of wire right as I finished up the floor. So I put that in and then got the floor painted. And what else did I do? I think that's about it. Here's the whole cover for there. So it's been a pretty productive day so far. So we got that done. I think now I'm either gonna do, I'd really like to, instead of wasting a bunch of time trying to get the brakes bled by myself, I'm gonna wait till I can get some help out here to do that. So now I'm gonna jump back here, get the fuel pump mounted, and see if I can get the lines ran and finished up for that, to where that system's all done. So, because I can do all that by myself. So that's probably next thing, is to get the fuel pump, figure out a way to mount the fuel pump. Thinking about just building a little bracket or something to hook it to this lip right here and mounting it right about there somewhere. I've heard that these inline pumps do better kind of below fuel level, so I'll try to get it mounted down here somewhere where it'll hook up good. So that's the plan. Then I can finish running the lines for that and be done with that. So, other than that, let's see. Let's cross some stuff off the list. That's always fun to do. Okay, so trans tunnel done. Paint floor done. I think that's it. That's two things off the list so far today. So we've got the rest of the day tonight. So we'll keep plugging along, waiting for paint to dry before we can get back in there, but there's plenty to do. Alright, so I was gonna mount the fuel pump and get that taken care of, but I got reading in the fuel pump, and I think it's gonna be a little high pressure for it. So I'm gonna get a different fuel pump to put in it. But in the meantime, I'm gonna hook up the return line and run a vent hose for the fuel tank so that that's done, and basically get the fuel line headed in the right direction to where the fuel pump's gonna go. But fuel pump location might change pending what pump I get. I still got to go shopping for it and see what I can get. So I think it'll be better to put what it needs in it so I'm not overpressuring the injectors. So I'm gonna get some lines flared here for these hookups, and we'll go from there. Shell mounted to the core support, so we'll get some bolts through that. And get this mounted here, and then run the belting for the hood to sit on. And then there's bolts that bolt this shell to the core support around that will sandwich between the belting and the grill. So get these bottom ones hooked up so it'll hold it where it needs to be, and then get those other ones tied in. Alright, so I was going to do the belting for this. I was going to run the bolt in between these webs here, but I had some bigger stuff that I used back on the cab, but I can't find it, and I don't remember if I used it all or not. But I've got this is so I think this is what I've got. So I was gonna run the bolt through the middle and just use the bolt to hold this down, but I don't know if it's gonna work. Kind of second guessing. Then I was kind of thinking if I could put the bolt behind it and just use the head of the bolt to wedge it and just pinch it down, maybe pinch it in between there to hold it. I don't know. Or you could put a washer on there and tighten it down with that and use the washer to pinch, because where the bolts go is recessed down in, so that the bolt's not going to hold the hood. Definitely not the way it's supposed to be, but it might be the way that we have to do it. Just tighten that down and pinch it in there. We'll try one and see what it looks like. Come on, man. I think that'll work. We'll run with it. Can always change it later. Well, shoot. I think I just recorded a whole bunch with the camera off, but we got the belting put on, and now I just got to tighten up these bolts that hold these strut rods, and our core support and grill will be mounted and done. So, bad part is I just realized while I was recording before that I'm missing a nut that goes on here, and it is a 7/16 fine thread, which I don't have a whole lot of fine thread stuff here. I found the lock washer on the ground, but I can't find the nut, so I'm guessing that I might have swept the nut up when I was cleaning earlier. And if that's the case, it's in the bottom of the trash can, because I'm not seeing it on the floor anywhere. So, guess I'm digging through the trash to get a nut. Found it. Who's in there? I dropped this nut on the ground and I swept it up and threw it away. So I had to dig through the trash. Aww. To find it. Say hello. Why do you do that? You're all jokes and laughs until the camera turns on, and then you turn into Miss Serious. Oh, brother. Alright, so we got the grill belting done, we got mount grill shell done, so those are checked off the list. Time to get going on something else. That is a big list, isn't it? We got to get busy. Okay, we'll keep plugging along. Alright, so we're working on
everything.
Shift linkage for the transmission. I got the front piece put on already. Working on getting this back thingamajigger done. I think it's gonna be that bolt and that bolt.
Daddy, do you need this?
Ugh.
The wrench.
Wrench?
Yeah. No, Dad, I said the Grinch.
The Grinch? Nope, I don't need the Grinch.
It's almost Christmas.
It is almost Christmas. Can you believe that?
I want that as a present. I'm gonna make a creepy noise while you sleep.
You're gonna make a creepy noise while I sleep? What if I wake up scared and I have to come sleep in your bed?
Okay.
Oh. Is that what you want?
Don't mind. Yes, that's what I want.
Don't mind. spin it onto the cable first before we lock it down. Column's in park, tranny's in park. Now the fun part is the steering column doesn't go through the firewall enough for this bracket to mount onto it. So what I was gonna see is if I could I got a few options. I think I need to either notch this lip out right here to fit that bracket to clamp onto the steering column, or I could build something that mounts to here instead of the steering column. I don't know. It's gonna be tricky. I've never done one of these before. I'm kind of at a loss at what this thing's for. I'm guessing that those bolts go to that. This goes through the bracket that mounts onto the column. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook the cable up. I'm going to hook the cable up to this here and route it through and hook it up down there, and then see where this thing kind of needs to be and make a plan. I think that's going to be the best way to do it. We want to go above that cross member. A little below that cross member. Get a little better angle at this thing. Okie dokie, let's see here. It kind of goes there, and that what does this do? Well, that seals that. And that goes on. Alright, we're getting all kinds of fits. Battery died. Went to move the camera to change the battery and broke the light off the top of it. Anyways, I think I'm kind of getting how this is going to work figured out. So, I think I'm going to be able to mount this shift arm in pretty much any orientation with those 3 bolts. So what I'm going to try to do is mount this over here under the floor, have the cable come up through there, and then just unbolt this, spin it around to where it'll line up. So that's the plan. I'm just trying to get it all done with 2 hands and one tired mind. Put it on too soon. Okay. Now, I think I might have, should have done that a little differently. Might have, should have, could have, would have. Stand on my head to get it dead. Found an Allen wrench to take these little bolts out of this thingamajigger, so we can rotate it. Somewhere right there. If I can get my fingers to work. Okay. Well, it shifts through all the gears, but it's really tight coming out of park. So I'm trying to figure out what might just be the new column. I don't know. I don't know what all else I can adjust to make it more better. Unless the little end that goes into the arm down on the transmission side, might be able to adjust that just a little bit to get that pressure off the lock, because it feels like it barely drops into the park lock on the column. I don't know. I need to get the steering wheel all tightened down so I don't have any play in it, and see what it feels like after that. 'Cause honestly, it's probably good, but well, I'm gonna head in for a little bit. We're gonna call this an episode, and when I come back out, we'll see you guys again. Thanks for hanging out, and stay tuned for if this is gonna be a Christmas miracle or what. We'll see, but thanks for coming along for the ride, and we'll see you guys on the next one.